So my name is Wojciech. I will talk about dotbim file format. So about me, I'm a civil engineer who turned into a programmer and writing software for other civil engineers or architects. So as you can see here, there is a lot of open source projects that I'm involved in. Right now I'm lucky enough to even commercially work on the open source project, which is ZioKit, which also will have its own presentation today. So, but right now I will talk about one of these projects, which is dotbim. Just to give you a little bit of the story behind this file format. So it was, I think, like 4 years ago when I created another open source project, which was T-Rex. So if you're familiar with Grasshopper, what you could do with T-Rex is you could model the parametric kind of reinforcement concrete models with the T-Rex, and you could calculate some stuff with it as well. And once I released the very first version of it, there was like one request that was constantly people were reporting to me, which is when I will add the IFC export from the T-Rex. So I actually did it. I created an IFC exporter, but during this process, I found out that IFC obviously has a lot of advantages. For instance, it's open and but it also was really complex to me. It took me a lot of time to create the IFC exporter from the T-Rex. So I found out that our industry actually doesn't really have some kind of alternative, some kind of minimalistic approach. If I would like to save some geometry and the data attached to it, I would be already happy with something like this. So that's how I found out that maybe it's a good idea to introduce the really simplified file format for the BIM. So to achieve that, I found out that because right now I will oversimplify some stuff, but when I talk about BIM models, for me it's like the geometry and the data. So if we talk about how we could save the geometry in the most simplest way possible, so rather than trying to allow to save each of the geometry type, like each of the primitive type, which is a box, sphere, or whatever, in a completely different way, I found out that it might be much easier to do it with meshes. So that's why dotbim is a mesh-only format. So each shape is represented by only a set of triangles, which is basically what the mesh is. It is basically the list of triangles. And actually, it is how already CAD's BIM software deals with the complex geometry. Like, you think that you're looking at the really complex shapes in Revit or Blender or whatever software you would pick, but actually you're looking on the set of triangles at the end of the day. So that's why there is this kind of illustration that you think that you're looking at some sort of a column and it is some kind of CAD shape, but actually it is discretized to the triangles at the end of the day, so it could be displayed with your graphics card. And also making it mesh-only format, it's not only like it's simpler, but it also more reliable in this way, and it's also makes things faster for the viewers. So the IFC viewers or other types of viewers that depends on this kind of I call it parametric, but it's more like procedural geometric instructions. What they have to do is, once they parse the files, they have to rebuild this kind of different geometries, so extrusions, B-reps, and so on. Sometimes they have to do these Boolean operations. So let's say you have a wall, and inside of this wall there is some kind of window, and so you have to construct all these geometries, and only then you have to turn it again to the triangles, so you can display it to the viewers. With mesh file formats such as dotbim, you have these triangles already saved in the file. So what you are doing is basically you read the triangles and you can already display it. And about the second part of the BIM models, which is data. So rather than trying to introduce my own form of classification, how we should name different things like walls and slabs or whatever, I found out that I could just allow any kind of text. So you can just say that, okay, this element is, you can name it however you'd like. It could be a wall, it could be in your language. For me, it doesn't matter. So same thing is with the property sets. So you have some kind of property sets attached to the different objects, like for the reinforcement bar, you can have like data like what is the diameter of this reinforcement bar, what is the material. So again, rather than trying to force to use my own language, how to name different things and how units should look like and so on, just to simplify it, we can have just the dictionaries, so which is just the list of key value pairs. So it can be any type of string that it could be, for instance, price or whatever, and any type of value, which is like any kind of number or whatever, just saved as a string. So as the result, you have the geometry representation, which are the meshes, and once you click on the selected element, you can see the properties in it. So here in this example, there is like the properties, which is the price and the price for this teapot, and you can see it's actually classified as a furnishing element, but it could be whatever you like to call it. So that's why there is this motto that we transfer triangulated meshes with dictionary attached to it, and that's it. So regarding apps that supports dotbim, because you can actually have your own file format, and or you can use, but file formats are basically useless if nobody supports it. So that's why I'm really happy that there is actually, I found this group of really nice people who actually found that dotbim, they find it attractive in some ways, or interesting. So they build their own tools that supports dotbim. So these are the actually apps that natively supports dotbim file format. For some other like bigger BIM kind of software, there are connectors. So there are some enthusiasts who found it interesting to build their connector for dotbim. So you can basically, for ArchiCAD, for instance, you can basically download the free connector, and this way you can export your ArchiCAD model to dotbim this way. So there are also viewers that supports dotbim, so you can also always view it in the web browser. Here is the whole circle of the, let's say, environment, because there's also like the converter. So for instance, there is the IFC to dotbim converter. You can also use this one. So, and these actually selected ones are the very recent ones. Actually, the ZeoVision and dotbim Tekla, with the combination of these two, you have this result. So basically what you have here is you have a Tekla model, with one button you press the export, and then you drag and drop it to Zero Vision service, and you have the BIM model in your web browser, and then you can send the link to anyone so you can share it with your friend or anyone. And if you click on the selected objects, you will see the properties. So yeah. So to summarize dotbim itself, what it actually offers, it offers simple and fast development. So more of these tools that I've mentioned that are already there, they were built in a couple of hours tops, or maybe a couple of days. So it's really different than trying to do it with the existing kind of schemas when you it's often more of the you have to work on it for a couple of months, for instance. Here with few days you can build your own import or export. It's that simple. So that's the one thing. And the second thing is the reliability that comes with it. So because the regulations are this kind of format is so easy, then it also makes it much more reliable, because if the regulations behind it, if they are simple, then doing the writing your import or export is also really simple. So there's not so many places where you can make a mistake. So it also makes the whole experience much more convenient. And about the speed and file sizes, as I said before, like with the speed, it's actually really good. For instance, with the viewers, can display dotbim models really fast because they already have these triangles, so they can just display them. Regarding file sizes, this is actually the challenge that dotbim has, because actually saving all of the triangles right there, it's not always the best way in terms of the file sizes. So it happens from time to time that these models are actually quite big. So, but there are different tactics that kind of helps you with that. So depending of the mesh qualities and the duplication kind of mechanism, you can make it a bit more compact. Also, simple zipping the dotbim files makes it much more compact. So yeah, that's it. So hope you enjoyed it. Yeah, thank you.